Okay, group, we're on page 5. Try it on your own. We're going to do some practice here. It says multiply each of the following. Simplify fully, and then classify the polynomial according to the number of terms. So what we're doing here is we're going to distribute our 4x cubed to our 2x and our 1. So if we do 4x cubed times 2x, we're going to multiply our outside numbers. 4 times 2 is 8. And then x cubed times x. This is where we add our exponents together. So we get x to the 4th. Plus 4x times 1 is 4 times 1, 4. And then x cubed times 1, we get x cubed. There's nothing else that we can combine here because these exponents aren't the same. So those terms have to stay separate. We have 2 different terms, so we call this a binomial. Binomial. Okay, on number 2, we're going to do our FOIL method. First, outer, inner, last. So for first, we multiply our first terms. 4a times a is 4a squared. You can think about it like this has an a to the first and this has an a to the first, so we add those exponents together. Okay, and then outer is 4a times negative 10, which would be negative 40a. Inner is the I right here, 3 times a, which is 3a. And then L stands for last. 3 times negative 10 is negative 30. Now, it's really important here that we look for like terms. So this negative 40a and this positive 3a, those are like terms, and we can combine those together. Negative 40 plus 3 would be negative 37a. And then we keep our minus 30 at the end. There's nothing else that we can combine here. So 1, 2, 3 terms is what makes up number 2, and that's called a trinomial. Trinomial. Okay, number 3. We're going to distribute our 3a to each term. So let's start here with the 10a to the 6th. 3 times 10 is 30. A to the 1st times a to the 6th will give us a to the 7th. Okay, then plus 3a times 2a cubed. 3 times 2 would be 6. A to the 1st times a cubed would be a to the 4th. Don't forget that we're adding those exponents together. Okay, so next we're going to do 3a times 9a. 3 times 9 is 27. And then a to the 1st times a to the 1st, we get a squared. And then last, 3a times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. And then we'll keep the a. None of these can be combined because they have different exponents on the a's. So we would call this a polynomial because there's more than 3 terms. Okay, number 4, it says divide each of the following. Simplify fully, then classify the polynomial according to the number of terms. So we're going to divide f squared out of 3f to the 5th minus 2f squared. Okay, when we divide, we subtract our exponents. So we would keep the 3. We'd be left with f cubed. And then here we keep the minus 2. Our f squareds would be gone. And that's all there is left to that one when we factor out that f squared. Okay, here we're going to divide out or factor out a 2x. Okay, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. X cubed divided by x to the 1st, we subtract those exponents, we'd have x squared left. 2 divided by 2 is 1. X squared over x, we have 1x left because we had 2 and 1 here. And then 2x divided by 2x, well, if the 2 divided by 2 is 1, and the x divided by x, those are gone. So we have 2x squared plus x plus 1. If we go back here, we forgot to classify. Number 4 is a binomial because it has 2 terms. And number 5 is a trinomial because it has 3 terms. Okay, number 6, divide 5b to the third. Okay, so for this one, 15 divided by 5 is 3. B to the 5th over b to the third, we subtract those exponents. So we'd have b squared. Positive 10 divided by 5 is a positive 2. We'd have an a left. And then b cubed and b cubed, those would cancel each other out. Okay, number 7. We're dividing out 3QR. Okay, so here 33 divided by 3 is 11. Q to the third and q to the first, we get q squared, and then our r's would cancel. 3 divided by 3, we end up with 1. Q squared over q, that would be 1q left, or q to the first left. R cubed over r would leave us with r squared. So remember, we're just subtracting our exponents. 9 divided by 3, we get 3. Q to the first and q to the first will cancel each other out. And then r squared over r, that will leave us with r to the first. Or you can just write it as r. Okay, number 8. We're dividing out just 8. So 88 divided by 8 would give us 11, and we'd bring down our x because that's not bothered. And then 8 divided by 8, we end up with 1. Number 9, we're going to divide out 4m. Okay, 16 divided by 4 is 4. M cubed, m to the first, we would leave m squared. Negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1. M squared and m, that would leave us with m to the first. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and then our m's would cancel out. Okay, number 10, we're dividing out xy. Okay, so here our 2 would be left. X squared over x would give us x. Y over y, that would cancel each other out, so that's gone. X over x here, that would cancel out. Y squared over y, that would leave us with y. Okay, and then last, divide out negative 3. So the negative 3's here would cancel, so we're left with b squared. 21 divided by negative 3 is negative 7, and we would still keep that f there at the end.